Afternoon, Scott.
Afternoon.
Good to see you.
You too, mate.
Looking ahead to Manchester United, any team news to be wary of? Any injury concerns?
No injury concerns really. Players coming back after midweek as well, getting some minutes in. So no injuries for us in terms of where we've been. Probably just more adding to where we are in terms of the squad, because obviously they've come through some minutes in midweek.
How positive has the last week been in terms of 2 wins, but also with the midweek fixture, getting more minutes into those players, as I mentioned?
Yeah, really positive. Last week was a big game for us. We understood that, and really pleased with the general performance, and pleased to get 3 points on the board against a very good side. And then obviously, like you said, and then going into midweek with another game, certainly this early in the season, to give minutes to other players as well, to keep getting them up to speed. So overall, real positive week we've had due to the results and obviously where we are. So we're looking forward now to a big game on Saturday.
And it's positive in terms of on the pitch and the results, but what does that do when you have a week like this in terms of belief, going on into the international break and, this half of the season? Well,
it's always the best part of a football club, or certainly you speak to anyone, manager, is a Monday morning and a full week prep is always good when you come out of some positive results, really. So it breeds a confidence. It certainly brings a good vibe, and for sure that's what it's been this week. Like I said, we're delighted with the performance, and the players were as well last Saturday and then midweek as well. So a lot of positiveness around the group at this moment, which leads us into the weekend.
On the weekend, Manchester United next. It sounds like a silly question in a way, but is it a good time to play them after their result last night and just their relative stocks this season as well?
Look, fundamentally, first and foremost, you're playing against an exceptional historic football club, really. So they have immense quality in their side, which we're fully aware of. You have to see their front line and what they've done over the summer. They've got some exceptional players, and players that can change games at any moment, really. So the ups and downs and the bumps of football sometimes bring different results, of course, but we're under no illusions of the task we have ahead of us at the weekend. And as always, we go in there with a full belief that we can try and perform to our level of what we're going to need to be to try and get a result, really. So I don't really look into whether it's good moments or bad moments. There's always flip sides to that. You could look at one side of it and say it's a bit of a wounded animal with world-class players that can obviously have a reaction. On the other side, of course, there may be a bit of edginess, but fundamentally, we'll try and give our best version and take on that task, really.
The Fulham players last weekend were quite open about the fact they thought in behind the midfield, between the midfield and defence, there was a bit of space that they could exploit in that situation. I just wonder, as a former midfielder yourself, but obviously as a manager now as well, they're one of a few teams who play 3-5 at the back with flowing side to side. Why do you think maybe a lot of teams have gone away from that system, or just having 2 midfielders, for example? And do you see that as a potential weakness you could look to exploit this weekend?
I wouldn't want to get into too much detail. You could look at every game you play where weaknesses are. In every game of football you play, whatever formation you decide to go with, there's pluses and there's flaws in them. And that will come down to just the actual detail of certain formations, really. So, of course, if you play a certain way, there's going to be elements that an opposition manager is going to look to exploit, or whether that's individuals in that team that you're going to look to exploit. So I don't really see it as just a one-off in terms of what United do. It would have been the same for Sunderland for us. It'd be the same as Tottenham. Now, on the day, if you can exploit or you can expose or you get the better hand of that, of course, it can come off. On the flip side, the way they play, they can cause you massive problems as well. And if it clicks, then you need to be highly aware of that, really. So, as always, we'll prepare this game looking at the details of where we can try and hurt United. Also looking at the details of where they can hurt us, because this is a team with world-class players that in any moment can hurt you. Just the same old prep for us, really.
And just finally from me, Scott, last press conference before deadline day, of course we'll do one after the match, but where are you at with transfers, ins and outs before deadline day? Are you still hoping to bring in a few in before the deadline? Yeah,
we're hoping. We're hoping to try and maybe do some business if we can, and that will come down to a lot of things and a lot of boxes needing to be ticked. Like anyone who in this position, there's a lot of things that need to fall into place. hopefully there may be some players that probably leave just down to the sheer squad of numbers we have, and for them players to go and get some real game time is essential, really. So I'm sure it'll be a busy 3 or 4 days, like it always is. Not the best of times for any manager, and it's a lot of uncertainty in certain moments, which is not great, but we'll get there. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Scott, you're not a stranger as a player and manager to going to Old Trafford and playing against Manchester United. What is the secret to going into an arena like that and giving yourself the best opportunity to get a result?
Well, I think firstly it's belief. You need to go there with a real belief about you. Believe in what you are, believe in how you go there with a game plan and try and execute that. That comes from a real, like I said, a belief and a confidence to go and do that. Of course, a tough arena, 70,000, and the stadium itself, along with the magnitude of what Man United and Old Trafford is. But for sure, we'll go into this game with the absolute belief that we can try and leave a mark and obviously try and get a result here, understanding the challenge. Of course, we understand that, but a real confidence after coming off the back of a good week as well, that we can go and get there, try and get a result.
You've already spoken about the performance we've seen from Manchester United and the noise that's around them. Do you speak to your team, though, about staying in the game and trying to use that pressure against your opponents?
Not really, no. Look, there's always noise around every team. And I understand that. And the noise really is the noise. Sometimes that noise can be blown up, and sometimes that noise and that narrative can be set via wherever it needs to be set and can magnitude or make things bigger. Now, no doubt that at this present moment in time, Man United and Amorim they're in a place which is uncomfortable place for them. But for sure, like I've said, we're playing against a world-class team here. On their day, these players can produce bits which can cause you problems, really. So our focus is, and my focus on this team at this present moment in time, whether Man United were in the best vein or whatever team that is, not just Man United. And I don't want this to be emphasised around Man United. What we are and what we can bring to this game and what we need to bring to this game. Now, there's bits where you need to always bring a certain level of something to a game of football, and then there's a level where technically and tactically you need to be on it as well, and hopefully we'll produce that at the weekend.
One of those players that got some minutes under their belts on Tuesday night was Broja. We know he had injury problems when he was on loan at Everton last season. How satisfying was it to see him get an hour under his belt and potentially, if you can get him fully fit and firing on all cylinders, what does he add to this squad? Well,
definitely, I'm pleased first and foremost that he got some minutes. Amando's come in, obviously, and has probably not had a full pre-season, and for sure probably needs some work still to get him up to that speed that we know. Look, we brought him in here because I fully understand the quality of what he can bring, and I think everyone's seen that and witnessed a Premier League striker. So firstly, we're going to tread carefully here. One, get him to a level where he needs to be able to operate at his best. But I have absolutely no doubt that we have a very good player that can have a massive impact for us this year.
And just finally from me, everybody talks about newly promoted teams just getting that 17th spot. There's games they've got to win and others that maybe are seen as a free hit. Do you see this game as a free hit?
I don't really see any game as a free hit, really. And that's me being honest. I understand the challenge. Of course I do. I understand that a team like us coming into this division, I totally get it, and I'm a realist to understand that you play against the topper teams in this. There's a real challenge there. I don't really see anything as a free hit. On anyone's day, any team could be any team, and you see that over the course of many cup competitions and many teams each and every week. And that's my feeling around everything. We bring the best version of ourselves, a committed version, a version of pure passion and desire, along with our technical ability and executing that, then everyone's in for a game, really. So that's how I see it mainly.
Best of luck.
Cheers.
Okay, if we could turn the cameras off then.
Is it quite nice that the attention is on the opposition, that you can just kind of keep your heads down and concentrate on what you're doing? I suppose with the outside of this room and your supporters, not many people will mention Burnley on Saturday.
No, yeah, probably not. It is nice. It does quickly change, and of course, I think I realise that the world of football and what we're in, that can quickly change from one week to the next or one day to the next. There's always eyes on someone, but like I said, I'm not really focusing too much on Man United's current situation, good, bad, unbelievable, whatever it may be. I think the main focus what really is on us, really.
Which is quite a nice thing to have, isn't it? That, I suppose, that you don't need to get.
Yeah, it is, and it's a mantra that I fully believe in. Really, I control the controllables. Really, and I've said this to this team been in here now for 13, 14 months, and I won't change that. Every game we focus on ourselves. We debrief one game, bad, good, terrible, whatever it may be. We debrief it. We move on very, very quickly. Let's not worry about what others are doing, what they're currently doing and what they're not doing. I realised a long time in life, and certainly in professional sport, that you drown yourself worrying about too much. It consumes a lot of energy, a lot of belief at certain times, and you probably don't get the best version of yourselves, really. So single focus for us is us, what we need to do, what we need to bring, what we need to be every single day, and that's exactly where we go.
Small sample size, just 2 league games, but even results aside, performances, does that give you confidence, what you've seen so far, that you're in the right place at the minute, or at least getting to where you want to be?
Definitely does. Yeah, definitely does. We had a tough first game against Spurs, but like I said, anyone who was there, or my feeling in the game was exactly how it felt. I thought we give a really good version of ourselves, and we look the team I want us to look. A brilliant result of the weekend. So yeah, I think overall we're in a really good place. There's still loads to improve. It's still a very new squad with some new players. Then players are fitting into what we're about, how we work, how we train, and a lot of detail going into them. So of course, there's while you like to press a fast forward button when you're me, and with a click of a finger or a magic wand, you want to wave it and hope that all these players quickly fit in and understand what's needed and what's accepted of them. That's sometimes a little bit of an unrealistic task. So a little bit more time, of course, but I'm really pleased with how we are progressing.
Did Tuesday night give you a little bit of food for thought as well, in terms of the lads that you played that haven't featured in those previous 2 games?
Yeah, I think, look, Tuesday night come at a really good time, because really we are still so early in the season and pre-season. We've got a big squad here. So I think there was many positives from that game. There was ones that players that are coming back from injury, players that are making their debut, players that at this present moment in time have not managed to get in the starting 11 or be around it. And they all got some really good minutes in a competitive game of football. So that pleases me. And of course, always food for thought, an opportunity here. There was an opportunity on Tuesday night for these boys for many different reasons, in different circumstances, why they currently have not played a lot of football. And yeah, they put in a very good performance to make me think about that.
And just finally on that transfer window, I guess slightly calmer than 12 months ago, the summer transfer window.
It certainly is, yeah. I mean, I don't know whether any transfer window feels calm, and to be honest with you, Scott, but yeah, I think you're right, mate. I think last year was very definitely a little bit different. Look, like I said, at times here is in these windows, like I say, any manager you sit there's a lot of uncertainty at certain moments. Players go in, players come in. And they're the challenges that you look forward to the window shine. Cheers, Phil.
We will turn the